From the post-millennial, snitches get riches. University rewards student callouts with cash. Sort of. It sounds like they're hiring people to be like culture minders. This is one of the creepiest, most Orwellian things I've heard in a long time. But let's read, and then I've got more alarming and bad news for all of y'all. Students can now get paid to snitch on their peers at the University of Sheffield. The students will earn £9.34 an hour to be race equality champions. Ooh, you get to be a champion. You know, in the past, to be a champion, you had to actually win the tournament. But I guess now it's just a title awarded to anybody who wants to be a race equality champion. And their training for the work will include teaching them how to lead healthy conversations on racism, microaggressions, and how to deal with those peers who commit infractions. Hours range from 2 to 9 hours per week, like any part-time work-study job. But Sheffield University's foray into snitch culture sounds alarm bells. Here's a tweet from Konstantin Kaisen. I don't know who that is. They say, students at Sheffield University are being paid £9.34 per hour to report on their fellow students. This is tremendous progress. As in the Soviet Union, these roles were unpaid. That's true. Snitch on your neighbor and you got nothing. But they got taken to the gulag. Following a report from the Equality and Human Rights Commission that cautioned about the common occurrence of racism for some students on campus, the university decided to combat the problem by weaponizing other students. 20 lucky kids will get this job, and it's probable that plenty more would have done it for free, as have their authoritarian forebears. Toby Young tweeting, why pay them? The little woke Nazis will do it for free. We have this here. It says, Happy New Year. The University of Sheffield is to pay students to tackle so-called microaggressions. So do you know what a microaggression is? Basically, like, if I'm walking down the street and you're a lady and you, like, clutch your purse, that's a microaggression. If I'm walking down the street and you see me and you cross the street, microaggression. That means you're a bigot and I should report you and I'll get paid to do it. Let's read on. This new job, such as it is rightfully being hailed as completely authoritarian and crazy. Anyone who has studied 20th century history knows that the worst dictators and totalitarians of that era counted on citizens to report one another under threat of punishment if they did not. Citizens in the Soviet Union, Germany, China, Spain, and other nations with brutal paranoid leaders impressed upon their citizens how important it was that they rat out their friends, family, and coworkers. Now that the trend has some, now that trend has some to the ultimate allied nation has come. Sorry. Copy editor, guys. The students who take these jobs will undoubtedly think they are doing the right thing in carrying out their duties, but in trying to overcome racism, they're dividing them further. We have this tweet here from Andrew Doyle, who is the man behind Titanium McGrath, the famous parody account. Sheffield University is paying students to spy on their peers and report microaggressions. One example they give is, quote, why are you searching for things to be offended about? Oh, jeez. Creepy. Given this sinister Stasi-like initiative, that's a very good question. Let me tell you a story. A long time ago, it probably still exists. There's a service that pays you to write down license plate numbers. It's one of the creepiest things I'd ever heard. But it was about 8 or so years ago. It was going around on Facebook where they were saying you get paid something like, I don't know how it worked, but it's like $1 or a quarter for every license plate you write down. They wanted you to go outside and start writing down the make, model, and plate number of every car you could, submit them to the system, and they would then pay you. But more importantly, they would pay you a bonus when those cars were repoed or impounded. And that was the point of the game. If someone saw, if the city or a company was trying to track down a lost vehicle because someone, didn't pay their loan bill on time, or because it was being repossessed, or because the city wanted to boot it, they cut you in. When the service was used to locate the vehicle, it is one of the most nightmarish and Orwellian things I had ever seen. And I had friends being like, this is really cool, you can make quick cash. And I'm like, dude, that's nuts. Snitch on your neighbor for cash? Sorry, not interested. The surveillance apparatus can rely on itself. Don't get me involved. I'm not playing that game. Let's go. Let's read on. Part of the job description is for students to call out their peers for microaggressions. We read that. Titanium McGrath is a satire account, but promoting it like it's legit. Here are a few to look out for, some microaggressions. Quote, I don't see color. Where are you really from? Why are you eavesdropping on our conversation? They say, if a fellow student says to another, stop making everything a race issue, that's considered a microaggression and is a reason for reporting under this new plan. This is freakish, nightmarish, and horrifying. What they're really trying to do is terrify people, and they're hiring. It's essentially a culture patrol. It's not about microaggressions. It's about anybody who would dare oppose their psychotic religion. Somebody's standing there saying, stop making it about race, and they say, you, now you're in trouble. How dare you question our orthodoxy? These people are lunatics. It is a cult, and this needs to be stopped. If a student says, why are you searching for things to be offended about? That's considered not okay, and that peer must be punished. The question, where are you really from, is apparently out of bounds, and other geographical infractions like, I don't want to hear about your holiday to South Africa, it's nowhere near where I'm from, is a reason to call out a kid for being racist. Students complained about the microaggression of, quote, being compared to black celebrities that I look nothing like, which would be pretty annoying for the kid who got that wrong, but is a reason to be reported. The University of Sheffield claims that they are just, quote, opening a conversation by paying students to help their peers understand racism and its impact. In 2018, the university suffered some racially motivated incidents with racial slurs found written on a whiteboard and slurs yelled at games. Of course, there's no place for racism on campuses, but the way to root it out is through education and conversation, not monetized McCarthyism. Call out culture, snitch culture, and the reframing of the conversation around how to control our thoughts does not alleviate racism. It buries it where it can fester. Not only that, it encourages it because people become resentful and angry. They bottle it up, and then finally they hear something they like, and they start talking about it more. They get entrenched in their beliefs, they get angry, and they reject it, and they attack you for it. People don't want to be told they must live in a box. People want to be free. Nobody wants to live walking on eggshells. They say this, fighting racism is a positive project, but it's not done through dividing us, through pitting peers against each other, but through a culture of egalitarianism and equality. Knowing that we are different is not as important as recognizing all the ways in which we are the same. And now I bring you to the worst news I've heard just yet. This story from Screen Rant, though it isn't confirmed and may be a myth as of now. Why would you send money via Twitter? Company reportedly working on tip feature. You're going to love this one. You might be able to tip someone through Twitter soon, but why would you want to? More importantly, who would really benefit from Twitter tipping? Well, I'll tell you this. This story is the other side of the university paying snitches. This is the people who produced the most outrageous, rage-inducing, rage-bait Twitter tweet to get as many retweets as possible to make money. If you thought it was bad enough that people wanted to earn invisible internet points like karma on Reddit or retweets and likes on Twitter, imagine what happens when they actually monetize this. Already, there are many woke Twitterati who have hot takes about things they don't care about. They lie. So Vince Vaughn, for instance, he's getting dragged on Twitter for shaking Trump's hand. People are pretending to be outraged, saying, I can't believe Vince would do this to us. Here's my PayPal. Seriously, in their profile, they have their Venmo, their PayPal, and they say, now that you've seen my tweet, send me money. Reward me for my woke outrage. The reality is Vince Vaughn's always been conservative. These people were lying. Imagine what happens if you add not just the likes, the invisible points they so desperately crave, but hard cash. We're going to create an economy based on being insane and outraged all the time. So you've got people marching around a university, snitching on you for cash, and then going on Twitter and telling everybody, hoping the retweets get them more cash. They say Twitter is a great place for sharing your thoughts, and it now looks like you might be able to share your wealth on the social media site soon. Although it remains to be seen why you would want to in the first place. Twitter is a service that's constantly in flux, with the team always looking for new ways in which users can engage with each other. In some cases, new features can actually slow down the rate of engagement, as is the case with one of the latest features that allows users to control who can respond to their tweets. However, the suggestion the company might soon let you send money over a tweet seems like it might be a step too far, albeit one that would appear to be in line with current trends. You know, Facebook and I don't think I need to, well, I can read a little bit more. They say, a recent report suggests Twitter is working on implementing a new payment feature to let people send money to each other. This does fit in nicely with the online tipping economy that's been developing over the past couple of years, with online businesses and companies having been replaced with individuals and influencers. Okay, you get the point. I'm gonna keep this one short. We'll wrap it up. They say Twitter tipping is probably not a good idea, but I don't care. I'm just gonna tell you what I think. I think people are going to start posting insane, outrageous fake news. They're going to tweet lies and out of context clips because they're hoping to make money. Twitter is bad enough because it incentivizes this behavior. We don't need to encourage more of it by telling people you can now press a button on a tweet to give them cash. In the end, we are building a culture that is going to be nightmarishly dystopian, and we're already living in it. Social media is censoring people. The left is now praising big corporations. The Democratic primaries are rigged. We get it. And now you have a university paying people to snitch. And now you have potentially Twitter saying, we want to monetarily incentivize your woke outrage. Welcome to the future. I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast every day at 6:30 p.m. And I will see you all then.